I know a lot of people struggle with their mental health now, but I really do. I actually had to go to a psych ward for 5 days one time. And that was probably the most bittersweet experience of my life, right? Because on one hand, I'm like, I'm in a mental institution. Things obviously aren't going well for me right now. This isn't good. But on the other hand, it was really nice finally being the best-looking guy in a group of people for once in my life. That was pretty cool. I know I'm not much to look at right now, but I'm a psych ward 9, is what I'm a bit of a snack in there, right? I know they don't take away shoelaces from guys much better looking than me, so that was nice. Nice little boost to the ego. I do know how I look. I'm bald. I have this mustache. I'm a mustache guy. And I've had it for about 5 years. And when I first got the mustache, I ran into a woman I used to work with that had never seen me with it before. And the first words out of her mouth are, she goes, "Oh my God, Brad, you look like a child molester." That's what she said to me when she saw the mustache. And in a weird way, she was kind of trying to be nice by saying that, because what she meant was, "Hey, Brad, you look unattractive with that mustache. I don't like the way you look." Because when a woman says you look like a child molester, they're basically saying you look unattractive, right? You never see like 4 women having brunch together. They're all talking about their boyfriends. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've been seeing this new guy. He's really cute. He's got this whole like child molester thing going on," right? No, it just means you're ugly. But in her mind, it was like, it'd be too mean to call my friend ugly right now. I don't want to do that. I'll just soften the blow and call him one of the worst things you can be in society. It's a much nicer thing to say. Now, about 6 months ago, I got rid of the mustache. I was kind of sick of it, so I shaved it off. Had a baby face for the first time in a long time. And a woman I currently work with, who's never seen me without the mustache, sees me clean shaven, and she goes, "Oh, Brad, I don't really like that. You kind of look like a child molester." That's when I had shaved it off. And I was like, I guess I just have resting, repressed memory face. I don't know what Because it was the second time I heard it, though, I asked her, I'm like, "Why would you say that? Like, why do you say I look like a child molester?" Honestly, God, her answer was, "I don't know, you can just tell you're just kind of chubby." That's what she said to that. And I was like, you can say that next time. Just say I'm kind of chubby. That's a better thing. Chubby people don't have to tell their neighbors when they move in. That's a better thing to say to me. Always go with chubby over child molester. It's a little rude, but both times it was a woman that said it to me. And women, you have a lot to struggle with. There's a lot of problems you guys have in society. But you guys should be thankful that you don't have an aesthetic that makes you look like a child molester. That doesn't exist for women. Because when I said it at the beginning of this joke, everyone laughed because you were kind of like, "Yeah, he kind of does." Like, you guys, you knew what I was talking about. But you never hear someone go like, "God, what's up with that blouse, Debbie? Do you fuck kids? Gee, that's what you decided to put on, right?" My God. So that's good. I'm a heavier guy. Here's something. I got fat for the second time in the past year. It's my second time being fat. I don't know if anyone else in here is on their second fat, but first time I was fat was like, most of me, like middle school, high school, early on into college. And then in my mid to late 20s, I lost about 75 pounds. And in the past year or so, I put pretty much all that weight back on. And it was pretty easy for me to go back to being a fat guy. Like, much in the same way that like a kid who went to juvie is going to have an easier time going to prison, if that makes sense. Because like I grew up in the fat system, right? I was fat in my life when it's hardest to be fat. Nothing's harder than being a fat kid. So being a fat adult's really, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm 34, so I have a lot of friends my age getting fat for the first time right now. The new fish, if you will. They're not the hardened OG fat guy such as myself who knows all the tricks of the trade. And they're not dealing with it as well. And it's kind of fun for me to watch them struggle with something for the first time that I've struggled with my whole life. Because they're like, "God, man, none of my pants fit right. I have tits. I never wanted that. I don't want to have tits. I'm always sweaty. I'm out of breath. I have to think of smart and funny things to say to women now. I need a personality. This is terrible." And it's fun for me to watch them go through that. And it makes me want to start a version of that show Scared Straight that used to be on TV, which was, if you're not familiar with it, it was a show like 20 years ago. Kids who were acting up in school would get taken to like a maximum security prison, and guys doing life sentences would be like, "No, you think you're a bad guy? This is what a real bad guy is like." I want to do that show, but it's me and my friends who have been fat on and off our whole lives, just bringing that energy to guys getting fat for the first time in their 30s. That's what I want to do. We're just like, yeah, welcome to fat, you little punk bitch. Why the fuck you so out of breath right now, motherfucker? It's like, I came up 6 flights of stairs to get it. What you doing taking the stairs and fat, boy? Fucking stairs are not your friends in here. You better find the elevator. Fucking trying to get killed? Jesus Christ. You having a hard time tying your shoes? Yeah, you better get some slip-ons for in here, motherfucker. You better get some Crocs. You don't want to get lightheaded. Kind of fucking... Fuck you crying about? Oh, you got a weird feeling in your left arm? We all got that. Yeah, maybe you're having a heart attack. Maybe you just sat on your hand funny. You don't know now because you're fat. I'm a big sports fan as well. I don't know if you guys like sports. I'm obsessed with sports. And in the past year or so, I've gotten into soccer for the first time. Any other soccer fans in here? A few. A lot of people in this country especially hate soccer. I had a lot of misconceptions about it. Like, the biggest misconception about soccer is that it's boring, right? I'm sure some of you think that. Soccer's not boring. It's frustrating. There's a big difference, boring and watching soccer is like trying to come when you're on antidepressants. That's what the sport is, basically. You're like, okay, I'm having fun. There's a lot of moving around. I'm sweating a lot, but I'm starting to feel that this isn't going to have a payoff, and that kind of sucks. It's been an hour and a half now, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anything's going to happen. We'll try again next week. I don't know. That's what it feels like. I work in the service industries. We'll give it up one more time for the great staff here at the Comedy Fort. I know how hard it can be. This is a great place to work. I've worked at some not so great restaurants. The last restaurant I worked at, it's a true story. One night, all the water coming out of our taps was brown. We had brown water coming out. And I guess there was something wrong with like the pipes in the neighborhood because all the other restaurants had the problem. And one of them called me. They're like, hey, is your water brown? And I was like, yeah. They're like, so is ours. I think we're going to close down because that's probably what you should do when the water's brown. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm sure we'll do the same. Our manager, that wasn't really his style. He was like, no, we're busy right now. We got to keep making money. And he literally took a glass of the brown water and drank it in front of all of us to try to show us. He's like, see, this is fine. He's like, it's just the pipes. And he literally said this. He goes, it's not shit. That's what he said. There's not shit in this water. Look we're fine. We're fine. Come on. Keep cranking out those margaritas. Get those tacos out there. But he knew we shouldn't have been open. We had enough water like in the carafes before it went brown to give to people that we didn't have to give them brown water. So we got the whole staff together for it was basically a don't tell people the water's brown meeting. That's what he gathered us all together for. We were huddled up being kind of secretive. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did in this meeting. I wasn't really paying attention. I just kind of scratched my stomach like this. We're just kind of sitting there, scratched my stomach. My manager sees that. He goes, Brad, what the fuck are you doing? Scratching your stomach? That's disgusting. You can't wash your hands because the water's brown. The fuck? You're scratching your stomach? And I just remember, like, well, hey, how about how I'm not telling these people that the water's brown. I also just won't tell them that I scratched my stomach, right? You're a health freak now? How about I lie to them twice tonight? I'm not... Hey, guys, yeah, never mind. The water's not poison. The water's fine. I scratched my stomach. Sorry about that. I just won't tell them. How about that? I am happily in love. My girlfriend and I, we're almost at 7 years in our relationship. That's a long time to be in a relationship. Longest relationship I've ever been in. And most of our relationship, it's 80% watching movies and having dinner together and 20% sex. That's what it is. But it's mainly watching movies. That's a lot of what we do. And the other day we watched, it's a movie that just came out this year. It's called The Zone of Interest. Has anyone seen The Zone of Interest? Okay, it's kind of like an art film, but like the premise of the movie, it's about the head Nazi who was in charge of Auschwitz, the concentration camp, back in World War II. And you never see inside like the actual concentration camp. You just see him living with his wife and their family in a house next door. And about 30 minutes into the movie, there's a scene where the head Nazi cheats on his wife. And my girlfriend goes, what a piece of shit. And I was like, oh, were you on the fence about the about the leader of the extermination camp? She's like, I could look past all of it, but he's an adulterer. My God. No, that makes sense. Like, that was her natural reaction as a woman. She's like, well, this guy's cheating. She, like, felt bad for his wife. And this was worse, is as a man, I started to defend him. That's what... I was like, well, you don't know how stressed out he is. I mean, my God, he's running Auschwitz, for Christ's sake. That's not... That's the show. That's not some small concentration camp. She's not meeting his needs. My God, what the fuck is that? Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your show. Give it up for your host. Thank you.